So accountability. This one I cannot express how much this is important for another reason. The wounded masculine will do the opposite of this. They will not take accountability and they will project it onto you. They will blame you for the defunct whatever of the relationship. I'm saying if they've created some wounding. Don't get me wrong, both of us have our shit, we bring it together, right? But a wounded masculine will run away from accountability to the point that they will project it, to the point that they will shame or judge or criticize or blame someone else for it. In fact, a healthy masculine trait with this is the ability to draw a boundary. When they are accountable, they will draw a boundary because accountability comes to recognizing capability. Okay, let's talk about this word here for a second. Capability. So, a healthy masculine will know their capability. So if they can't hold space for you, they will let you know because they're accountable to you and accountable to themselves. They will be honest and they'll be like, this is my capability. More importantly, they will draw a boundary. They will draw a boundary and not be afraid of it. Now, again, the wounded masculine or the avoidant tends to draw too many boundaries as an escape mechanism. But a healthy masculine will draw healthy. Okay, let's call it a healthy boundary. A healthy masculine also will, in relationship, when they fucked up, take accountability before you even ask them to. So, for example, an avoidant, just saying as a wounded masculine, or someone who is avoiding conflict will step in, or if they've messed up, they'll step in and say, I recognize that I didn't do this well. I recognize that I created this problem. I need a little bit of time to understand it, to understand where it's coming from, to process it. And so I need a little bit of an ability to process this, but I take accountability that this is something that I'm working on. This is something that's come from within. The next step is to work on it or not, but this is something that's come from within. For example, it could be a rage or an anger. Like if someone got really upset and they suddenly reacted. It's happened to me as well, where I'll suddenly react because of pent up emotions that haven't been worked on. But to take accountability after it and to say, okay, this came from me and I'm really sorry, I don't know what it's come from, or maybe this is something that's hit me before in the past. To then move into the next step, which is, what was I talking about? Learning for themselves also how to create grounding and stability. And men tend to do this, the masculine tends to do this through exercise, through physical effort. In fact, here's another fact for you guys. Testosterone is what naturally makes our muscles develop a lot more than, for example, for women. But testosterone also allows us to create and have higher heart rates, which is why men die faster than women, higher and faster metabolisms. But more than anything, it tends to create more energy, which is why we need more energetic consumption. So the calorific recommendation for men is much higher because we need that energy, but it also helps you burn out that energy. So a healthy masculine will put that effort into something physical, whether it's an exercise, a movement, or something so that they can not only take care of their body, but they allow to discharge a lot of that energy. Okay, let's talk about a few more healthy masculine traits. Anyway. Protection. Big fucking one. Huge one. Protection. Now, this is really a healthy masculine will take the accountability of protecting what they've either created or what they've committed to. What they've committed to or what they've created. They will step in to say that it is my responsibility, even sometimes to put myself at risk, to protect that which is more vulnerable, that which is more delicate. Sometimes I like to explain masculinity and femininity and the balance as, let's take for example the rose and the thorn. Which is the most beautiful part? The rose, right? The rose loves to be we love roses, they're beautiful, they smell nice, blah, blah, blah. But what is it that protects the rose? Thorn. Now that's such a beautiful example because a healthy masculine also does not need excess validation. Does not need, this is does not, okay? Need excess validation. Validation. This is does not. And the reason for this, why this is so important, is because, again, a very strong trait of narcissism is needing that level of excess validation, or needing that level of people to love them, right? Healthy masculine will take its accountability, stay committed, do its job, and stay focused, but not need to be the most beautiful thing in the room. Very important. So, like we said, we talked about a flag and a pole, right? Think about it. Like, again, the flag is so fucking beautiful and it's gorgeous, but the only reason we can see it waving is because there's a boring, ugly pole that's stuck into the ground that's staying steady and holding it. So another word is, we talk about stability. Let's talk also about being steady. Okay? These are all strong masculine traits. Now, I think this is also created within us for the process of evolution, of like raising families and blah, blah, blah. That healthy masculine traits allow for like safety, allow for like, the cubs to basically like roam and do their thing, but still feel like safe and protected. So a healthy masculine, where I was talking about protection, provides safety. Now this can be emotional safety, it can be provide safety, it can be physical, so I'm just putting this, it can be emotional, not as much spiritual because the men are not as connected to women as spirit as women to the spirit, but especially these can also be a spiritual space, like at least a safety, non-judgment, right? So when a woman feels this from a man, automatically there is a strong connection that's created. Now the problem is, a lot of women have had to provide this for themselves. So what happens when a woman has to start, or a feminine has to start providing this for themselves? They increase their level of femininity and trust, and they increase the level of their own masculinity, right? Because they've had to protect themselves, physically, emotionally, spiritually. When I say physically, I'm also putting in like financially, all that shit, okay? So they've had to learn to survive, to protect themselves. The masculine does not need to tell the feminine, make the feminine have a need to survive. Hey, and welcome to the Inner Yats YouTube page. If you like our content, make sure you click the like and the subscribe button so that you get more of these amazing videos that keep coming your way.